The Rock Report with Hot Press. Radio Nova.
Now, Carol Dooley.
Yeah.
I
Alan
was very
Parsons.
excited to get this interview. Yeah, I mean, with so much attention being paid towards Pink Floyd with the reissues and the Why Pink Floyd campaign and all that sort of stuff, I sort of think it would be so great to get somebody who was there at the time. And of course I was thinking about Alan Parsons. I got him on the phone the other night. Started by asking Alan about his being at the mecca that is Abbey Road Studios during the late 60s.
I live and breathe my early days at Abbey Road, you know, partly through the Beatles and partly through Pink Floyd. It was a very exciting time for me, a very influential time. You know, I mean, I was 20 years old when Abbey Road was being made, and you know, it's still essentially a trainee engineer. I had no real creative input to Abbey Road.
Would you say you were ignored a bit by George Martin and the rest of the Beatles, or would they take some creative suggestions you made on board?
I mean, I wouldn't say they ignored me. You know, I had a job to do, and they would. I was essentially there to do it what I was told, but I think I got on very well with them all. But you know, I was in a junior position. I was, you know, more important for making tea and coffee than anything else.
But I would imagine at the time you had no idea Abbey Road would become as big and as important as it did, and of course that would lead you on to bigger things again in your career, right?
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, I had the best job in the world. I was, you know, working with the Beatles in Abbey Road. I mean, how much better does it get than that?
As a 19 or 20-year-old learning your trade, I guess not much better than that. Of course, bigger things were to come. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. You worked with Paul McCartney then on some solo stuff. You had the Alan Parsons project. Even Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel. What did you do with that?
Yeah, I produced Steve Harley. That was a good. Came from a very good period for me in my production career. Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel and Pilot both did terribly well in the mid-70s. In fact, I had two consecutive UK number ones with Pilot's January and Steve Harley's Come Up and See Me.
Was that important for you, though, at the time? Did you want to be a commercial success, or were you interested in making great records?
Oh, I think a bit of both. I mean, who would not want pop records to have commercial success? You know, Alan Parsons' project came together in later years. That was much more of a rock thing, and we perhaps looked more towards quality of music than commercial success.
Does it mess with your head a bit that you are responsible for some of the biggest albums in the world ever? And again, I'm referencing Dark Side of the Moon here. Do you still think about stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm constantly aware of that. I mean, I recognise how lucky I was to be an engineer for one of the, you know, biggest selling albums of all time, Dark Side of the Moon. You know, and that I'm never going to be. I mean, a day will never come when I'm still not proud of that. You know, I'm always. It's always with me, and I still feel great about it.
So, working with Floyd, did that influence where you wanted to go with the Alan Parsons project? Was there an influence there?
I've never been frightened to say that Pink Floyd was an influence on what I did with the Alan Parsons project. But there again, I think every musical experience that led up to the creation of the Alan Parsons project was essentially some kind of influence. I mean, working with you know, classical artists even, I would say, was an influence. When
you think about albums like Dark Side of the Moon now, do you glow a little? Are you very proud of everything you did on that album? I was proud of the fact that Dark Side of the Moon got such acclaim for its sound. I mean, what more could an engineer ask for than his name put to something which is considered to be a sort of a sonic masterpiece? I mean, that's another thing that I'm extremely proud of. With all of the Floyd reissues that have come out recently, are you very happy that your early work on Dark Side of the Moon is now out there in the marketplace through the box sets and things like that? A mixture of elation and a bitterness, frankly, because you know, there is work that I did that I have not been rewarded for in any way. You know, they've just shoved it out there and without any sort of reference to me, as it were. But of course, it's great. I mean, those early stereo mixes are fun to listen to, I think. Have you heard them? Of course I have. Spent many an hour locked in a dark room listening. And the quad mix, of course, is great because you know, that's been long available as a bootleg, apparently. and it's nice to know that it's out there officially.
A snippet of a 20-minute chat that I had with the excellent, the brilliant Alan Parsons. And Alan is back touring with the Alan Parsons Project live. He's doing some dates around North America. He's got some dates in Lebanon, believe it or not. And he's also got some shows in Germany. And I was asking, come here, please come here. You will definitely sell out a night if Alan Parsons Project came to Ireland. He'd love to do it, but he just needs to talk to a promoter. So I put him in touch with some people, so that would be kind of cool. And that is Alan Parsons, and you know what, we might stick that up as a podcast on our website as well.
I think we should. Very interesting.
Carol Dooley, Marty Miller with Hot Press, The Rock Report. Weeknights at 6, only here on Radio Nova.